Hi, my name's Bev Wood. My business is BWD. We're interior architects based in Lytham St Anne's and proud to also be Creative Industry of the Year award winners.
Working in the interior design industry now full time, it can be very stressful at times. We have tight deadlines. You know, you can't always choose what you'd ideally want and stuff, but it's really rewarding to see the projects at the end and then to actually see the people using those spaces. It's really rewarding.
When I'm looking for somebody to join my team, it's really important that they have at least a BA, but preferably an MA. The difference between the two is quite a big gap. MA students have an awful lot more knowledge. They've invariably had some experience because between the MA and the BA they may have had some work in industry. And then during the MA they've also had the opportunity to work on their own in a much smaller group, so they're much more work ready.
Sort of kind of found my own style whilst I was doing my MA, like what sort of interested me and what sectors that I'd like to go into. So I think it just made me kind of find myself as a designer. Once I'd finished my MA, I continued with work placements and obviously I was applying for jobs and I was using my portfolio that I'd developed through my masters.
All my team at the moment are coming from the UCLan pool, which is fantastic. I am a big supporter of higher education and I like to source my team from the local vicinity. Logistically that makes sense for me as an industry. I'm trying to grow my business from the bottom up, not the top down. I've been in industry before where it's been very top heavy, so effectively you don't have the worker bees.
I was given a project to do from start to finish with a lot of responsibility of it being on my own. So that started from going to site, measuring up the site, client meetings, getting the brief off the client, what they wanted, and then going to produce concepts and sourcing all the furnitures and finishes. We take on board all the feedback we get off the client as we go along. You know, they might like bits of this concept or they might like bits from this concept, and then we kind of like mingle them together, and in the end it was all done up and it looked brilliant. It looked better than what we even envisaged in the first place, and the client was really happy. It was actually an estate agents in Lancaster, but previously it was a DVD shop and it was quite run down, whereas now it's a really contemporary modern space and they've had really good feedback from it.
I think if there was a student watching this video and saying, right, I'm contemplating moving from a BA to an MA, yes, there are some jobs out there at the moment and the industry is picking up, but I would advise them, go and get some more experience, actually do a bit more learning. There's no rush to get into our industry. It's quite a tough industry to be in because the skills that perhaps I had when I left as a student, and there was many more jobs back in the 80s when I graduated, and lots of physical hands-on experience. I think you get a lot of that now within the university environment that we never did as students.
When you first go into the industry, you think you're a bit naive as to how much is required and time-wise, and how much is to be produced and stuff. But no, I really enjoy it, and yeah, I'm really glad I went into interior design.
It's a great time, I think, for students now to be going into the industry. There's an awful lot happening and I think the prospects are looking really good.